Hi, my name is Peyton Taylor and we are Group 2. Our topic is quality control and mitigating competence errors. So here's our table of contents. Our main topic will be the Turkish Airlines Flight 981. We'll talk about the cause of the accident, prior discrepancies, competency errors that could have been prevented, backlash, design flaws addressed due to the crash, strategies that could have assisted Turkish Airlines, as well as the conclusion. Turkish Airlines Flight 981 was a flight that occurred on March 3, 1974. It departed from Istanbul from Paris and then on to London. During its second leg to London, the rear left cargo door was ripped off due to fatigue and the door's locking pins. Two rows of seats close to the door were ripped from the cabin. All passengers and crew members, totaling a number of 346, were killed in the crash. This is known as the deadliest single aircraft accident without any survivors. So here we have the flight plan of the aircraft. It started off in Istanbul and then went on to Paris. And about 10 minutes into the flight, the cargo door was ripped off, causing the accident. And here is a picture of the aircraft itself. So for the cause of the accident, the initial problem was that there was no final inspection prior to the flight. This flight was running late, and so many of the crewmen were trying to hurry up and get the aircraft into the air. Another problem was the door locking pins. There was a design flaw of the door that made it possible to close the vent door and lock the cargo door, when in fact the latches are not fully closed and lock pins are not in place. The door was closed incorrectly by an untrained baggage handler. Check whether the pins were locked through the viewport of the door. The pressure relief vents between the cargo and passenger cabin were also inadequate and caused the floor to collapse, along with the two rows of seats to be ripped out due to explosive depressurization of the cabin. Flight controls were also lost due to an explosive decompression. Vital flight control cables were severed, making it nearly impossible to control the aircraft.
All right. Hi, my name is Landon. I'll be taking it from here. So here we have a diagram of the door. So you have the latch and just a few other parts. Just kind of shows where they are. And then here's a picture of the cargo door on the DC-10 that was ripped off during the flight. So next we have prior discrepancies. So to start off, McDonnell Douglas actually knew of some of the flaws with the DC-10. Convair, one of the designers of the plane, warned them, saying that if they didn't fix some of these problems, it would actually result in catastrophic results. Then next, before entering commercial service in 1970, during a ground testing, the cargo hold decompressed, causing a failure of the aircraft's doors. So this is the exact same thing that happened on the Turkish flight. And then again, an American Airlines flight 2 years before the Turkish Airlines incident, the same thing happened, but this time nobody died, so that's good. And then some more discrepancies. McDonnell Douglas convinced the FAA not to send out an airworthiness directive on the cargo door because it would hurt their sales. So instead, they got it downgraded to a service bulletin. And then Turkish Airlines, for some reason, didn't see the service bulletin and didn't fix any of the issues with it. And so here are it's just a picture of the crash. There's some people's clothes, some of the crew's clothes, and then some investigators in the back.
Hi, my name is Seth, and then I will be continuing from this slide. So next slide I'll be talking about is the competency errors that could have been prevented before the flight. First one is the poor pre-flight inspection. The second one would be the past discrepancies with the design of the DC were being ignored. The next bullet would be the human errors involving interface design. The next one would be the no liability taken by engineers who were involved in designing the aircraft. Next one would be little to no training for the crew members. Next, and the last slide for that, or the last bullet for that, would be ignoring requests for service and maintenance changes due to prior issues. In the next slide we have here on the top left photo is one of the airplanes engines, and to the right we have another picture of the crash site. Okay, for the next slide, we have the backlash that they got after the flight. One of the first bullets is they was considered one of the top five worst plane crashes of all time. The next one would be the number of orders from McDonnell Douglas dropped significantly, especially for the DC-10. The next one would be McDonnell Douglas faced multiple lawsuits from the families of the victims on the plane. Next one would be attempted to blame FAA, Turkish Airlines, and General Dynamics. And the last bullet would be eventually ended up having to pay a settlement of $18 million. And here we have pictures, more pictures of the crash site. Right here, everybody's looking through and whatnot. And over here, you see sort of a bigger piece left of the airplane.
Hey, my name is Saeed. On this slide, after the crash, the company redesigned the latching systems, and Competence had to be put into a cabin floor to allow pressure to be equal. In this picture, show a clocking and locking machine that was created and closed the front doors and locking bin and the other tools. Well, Tu- Turkish Airlines could have avoided this accident by having routine flight checks, maintenance checks, high quality training, resources, management to check off employees, and a safe environment. This picture shows 80% of a human error and 20% of mechanical and other failures mistakes. Conclusion: all factors that lead up to the crash were known prior to the crash and were prov- preventable. Never understatement warning sign: airline needs to provide high quality training for employees. Aviation accidents are tragic and deadly, and that's some resources. Thank you.